Hey, true believers, Englentine here, and it is a good day when you can look at a comic book and go, holy crap, this is a Magneto story written by Claremont. Man, you know you're going to be excited, especially if you're an old-timer X-Men fan like myself, where you see the heyday of the X-Men pretty much was late 70s to early 90s, when Claremont ruled. So I was very excited to pick this up. You know, it's what was this going to be, a villain series, X-Men Black? They're going to explore villains from here on in? Yeah, sign me up. So you want to start off with a Magneto story, huh? Okay. Opens in a diner, because don't they all? Nobody goes to a restaurant in a Marvel comic. Have you ever noticed? In comic books in general, it's always diners. It's never like, oh, we're going to sit down at a Red Lobster or anything like that. You know, this book, I would be giving this a really good review if it were not for the beginning. Claremont has always been good about putting politics into his books without really putting politics into his books, or at least, you know, it was in general. So it was like, hey, racism is bad, and, you know, everybody could get behind that. So, yeah, no worries. In this case, they do the mutant thing in order to talk about the children in cages. In this case, it's like, oh, I can't believe they're putting them in cages just for existing. And, of course, alluding to the fact that, you know, just because they exist is why people were being detained at the border, and why children were being separated from the adults that they were with. And mind you, that's the way I put it, because one of the reasons why they're separated from the adults is to find out if those adults are actually their parents or it's human trafficking. Unfortunately, there's no such nuance in this book, which really floors me, because this is Claremont. This is the king of putting politics into the books without you knowing. And instead of doing something along those lines, there's a very heavy hand. And I was really disappointed to see that, because I think he could do better. I know he can do better. I've read him do better. And yeah, like I said, the rest of the book was fine. It's just this opening diner scene where it's basically, oh, if you don't agree, you're an obvious hate monger that wants to see everything that's not you die. You know, it's okay, you have an opinion. That also doesn't mean you're going to be violent. But that's not the way it's played out, is it? Once again, a little disappointing, considering the fact that this could have been a very good book. Because the rest of it is actually not too bad. You know, other than the fact that really Magneto should be dead and or captured like 1,000 times over. Yeah, it's like the Joker in in Batman and everything. I don't know. Then we after the diner scene, there's a flash forward scene, and it's really something of a how did we get here kind of thing. There should be more story between the two of them. Overall, I want to give it a good grade, and I can't. I'm not going to. I can say that it's better than X-Men have been in some cases. It's better than X-Men Red. I can give it that much. It's something to see Magneto take apart the X-Men. Of course, we find out it's a training simulation, and he's got to stay sharp so he keeps the danger high, which we've seen the X-Men do as well. And that part was kind of cool. I enjoyed aspects of this book. I just wish that the heavy-handedness wasn't there as well. But that's just me, I guess. I don't know. I wanted more out of it. Come on, it's an X-Men Black book. It was Magneto written by Claremont. It's one of those things I keep saying. Be careful what you wish for, because you might just get it in modern day. Do you really want it? Do you want it in this particular climate? Do you want them to do the old characters that you loved? If you know that they're just going to mess it up somehow, that they're going to put their own voices in the characters rather than put the find the voices of the characters. And here we have a little bit of that, and it's from Chris Claremont. How very disappointing this was. I'm sorry, guys, but I can't get over the fact that this is the guy that we entrusted the X-Men to for over 10 years and who wrote them well. And I guess based on that, some people are going to go, well, who are you going to argue with, Chris Claremont or you? But overall, I got to say, I wanted it to be better. Unfortunately, it was not. The other mutant book this week, it's a #1, so of course, got to pick it up, got to check it out, got to see if it's worth it. Is that Star Trek font on the title here? Shatterstar? Is that does anybody else see Star Trek in this? Is it just me? Just me? I don't know. Maybe it's just me. As I try to point out, I'm a different breed of cat. So Tim Seeley wrote this one. Chris Claremont wrote Magneto. Tim Seeley wrote Shatterstar. Chris Claremont is like the god of the X-Men. And yet Tim Seeley wrote Shatterstar. Now, frankly, I am not a fan of Shatterstar. I always thought it was kind of silly and stupid. The two-bladed swords, the boxing mask thing going over his head. Just was never a fan. So, okay, I was a little hesitant to pick it up, but it is a #1, and I do like to review #1 issues and everything, see how they start off. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, and then I opened it up, and he's like, oh, I wanted to be a landlord because Lord was a big title, and it sounded good. And I'm like, wait a second, is this a slice of life comic book starring Shatterstar? Is anyone interested in that? Why would they do a freaking slice of life comic book starring Shatterstar? He's freaking Shatterstar. It was like created in the, hey, look, I'm Rob Liefeld, let's get extreme 90s. And, oh my gosh, why would you possibly, oh, wow, okay, so this is interesting. Okay, I kind of like the little pug thing. It's an alien. He's made a building for people who are from other dimensions who find themselves stuck here. Okay, these guys are interesting. Warriors from another dimension that's trying to make a TV pilot that they could sell. So far, so good, guys. I am very much interested in these characters, and this lady's named The End. Okay, and I like the fact that they say whenever she signs her name, it looks like an old 1940s movie. And okay, this is really interesting. Oh, look at that, an old-time Night Thrasher. This is really cool. I'm liking these characters. I am really afraid that they're going to start doing superhero crap in the middle of all this because, frankly, I would just like to see a slice of these guys' lives. This is very interesting, and that was my thought as I'm reading it. I'm thinking, wow, what a great cast of characters that Tim Seeley has put together here. I especially like this one. She is from a dimension where our dimension, basically, where everything is realistic. So the whole thought of superheroes is outrageous. And yet now she's stuck in that dimension. And she wants to hear all of Shatterstar's stories that he has as a hero. And while we're meeting the characters, man, I am into this book. But then he leaves the house, and we see that there are creatures that end up attacking. And it's actually done pretty well. You know, each panel of the citizens of his little tenement there are being captured in the middle of, and we also get his thoughts on the subject. And I thought that was very well done. It was very good for building the tension. So we're reading the thought bubbles of Shatterstar all the while we're seeing it happen, and we're just like, no, not to these guys. Come on. No, they're good characters. And I got to tell you, I'm very surprised at this. I'm not a fan of Shatterstar. I'm not a fan of any of the well, maybe Deadpool a little bit. No, I'm not even a fan of his anymore. Domino's okay. But I'm not a big fan of the 90s extreme characters. They never thrilled me. But this right here, I liked this book. But granted, I like the slice of life characters. I like the supporting characters. But then we get to see him as the superhero, and we get to meet the person who trained him. And I'm like, I really just want to get back to the rest of the book. It's actually pretty good all the way through. It's just I like the beginning a little better than the end. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Have you read Shatterstar? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Were you just, it's okay. You know, it's fine. Did you read the Magneto book? What about that? What did you think of the heavy-handed politics? Or did you think they were heavy-handed at all? Did you like it, hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to see more. This is the way we're trying to make a living, so if you don't mind helping the channel out, go on over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till, and helps keep making videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.